Hello everyone, you are welcome back to my channel Dada's Dialogue. In our today's video, we'll be talking about how to overcome the anxiety of doing interview for the very first time. No doubt, when we are doing interview for the very first time in our life, so many things contribute to we being nervous or being overwhelmed with anxieties and all that. But how can we make a balance? How can we overcome this anxiety? This is what we'll be discussing in our today's video. And in order to overcome such anxiety, first of all, you just have to cultivate the right mentality and to have the right philosophy. For instance, when you cultivate the right mentality or the right philosophy, you know that the nursing here in the UK, the way they practice nurse here in the UK is the way they practice it in whatever country you are living. For instance, the way they give medication here is the same way they give medication in your country. The way they treat or dress wound here is the way they dress wound in your country. So having this mentality, it will make you know that it is the same thing. In fact, the fact that you made it through to the interview phase shows that you have something to offer. It shows that your qualification is recognized. And as a result of that, you don't need to underlook yourself or to look down yourself as if you cannot render anything. The first problem many people are having is the fact that they underlook themselves. They think that they cannot perform well, and it is logical because people who will interview you, they have different background, different culture, different way of handling things. All these things can be overwhelming at times. But when you develop the right philosophy, you develop the right habit, the right mentality, knowing that nothing is the same thing everywhere. In fact, you have to believe in your mind that you have something you want to render to the organization, something they can never get elsewhere except if they recruit you. So when you have that right mentality, it will make you to be able to balance things up. You won't be mixing up things. You won't be having the fear of what if they did not choose me. So number two, you have to believe in yourself. When you are answering interview questions, try for as much as possible to believe that what you are saying is the truth. In nursing, that is one good aspect of nursing. In nursing, whatever interview they are asking you or whatever things they are asking you during your interview, you are rest assured that these are things that you are encountering. They will not ask you something related to farming while doing interview in nursing. So you should know that it is something you've encountered, something you are dealing with in your day-to-day activities. These are the things they will ask you. Believe me, they will never ask you what they think you don't know or what they think you cannot answer. So it is the general nursing question they will be asking you because they know your capacity, they know what you can do, they know what you are good at. Based on the CV you submitted to them, this is what will make them know your capacity. So once you have this right mentality that nursing is the same thing, as well as the fact that you cannot be nervous, you don't need to be scared because they know your capacity, it will make you cultivate the kind of right habit so as to enable you to answer the question properly. Yes, during my wife's first interview, it was disastrous. Disastrous in the sense that, imagine, because of my wife is such a person who loves to answer things as short as possible. She don't want to be explaining things longer so that she won't lose track. She just try to cover everything within a short period of time. And at times it is as a result of anxiety, let me just quickly deliver this thing and leave. So because of that, it affected her during her very first interview. Coupled with the fact that the receptionist that first addressed my wife told her that she don't need to answer too much, she just need little answers, just to be as brief as possible, that they already know her capacity, they know what she can offer and all that, so she should just be as brief as possible. And as a result of that, my wife was trying to just be as brief as possible. Imagine when they ask her question like, tell me about yourself, she just answer, my name is so, and why did you want to work with us? I want to develop my career. So such answers is very small, and After the interview, the response they told the agent who linked her up to the interviewer was that her response was very, very short. And as a result of that, they cannot go on with the sponsorship. So just know quite all right that even though you don't want to talk too much, you don't want to delay time, you still want to talk, make your response for as much as possible and as relevant as possible. So in this case, try for as much as possible to answer each question, minimum of 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. Use it to answer each question. And at times, you might not have words to say up to that period. But what can you do? Try for as much as possible. Any question they ask you, try to link it up with your experience while working in an organization, and try to link it up with the positive aspect or the positive things you know it will bring to their organization. So try to sell yourself for as much as possible. Anytime you are asked a question, try to let them know that if they did not recruit you, they are making a huge mistake. But don't ever tell them that they will make a big mistake if they don't recruit you. Let it be in the way you answer their question. So never tell them that if you don't recruit me, it's going to be a loss to you. No, you don't want to do that. Another thing is that when you are answering question, if they ask you question, if you know that you don't understand the question they ask you, don't ever conclude that this is what they are trying to ask. Tell them to come back again, to pardon you, to repeat themselves. They know that there is language barrier, and they know quite all right that they might say something you won't understand. So you need to call them or call their attention back to the question again, so that you can easily understand what they are saying. If you don't understand what they are saying, it will be very, very difficult to answer them perfectly. So when you don't understand them, call them back to the question again. Tell them that no, you don't understand it. Nevertheless, try for as much as possible to avoid calling them back to the question again, so that they won't see you as you are having difficulties with language. But once in a while, let them know that you don't understand the question. They are more than happy to repeat themselves, because they know that it is necessary. You will have such language barrier, but you can move on, you can learn it on the go. So call their attention to it and say yourself, like I said it. So any question, try to say yourself. So apart from that, if they ask you a question and you think you don't really understand the question, don't say because of you just want to answer the question. Just say whatever you know, rather than saying something off the track. It is better to just say what you know. Don't kill time because of this. Don't say because I've said it that you need to answer it for minimum of 1 to 2 minutes, and you don't have what you might say within this period. Just say whatever you know and be quiet. Don't say because of you just want to answer, you want to prolong time and be saying something off the track. It is not necessary. You don't need that. And apart from that, when they ask you question, let them see your potentials. And when you are having difficulties in answering their questions, maybe this time around you don't know what to say, you don't understand it, you can tell them you've not experienced this kind of thing. However, they can give you time to make research on it, but personally you've not done it before. You don't need to lie. Even if you don't lie, if they need your services, they will still recruit you. Rather than if you now lie, they assume that you know it and they are expecting you to do it when you come. At the end of the day, when you finally arrive, you cannot do such task. It is going to be disastrous. So if you don't know anything, tell them, be as natural as possible. Talk the way you are talking. Don't try to impress, maybe trying to copy their phonetic, try to speak the way they talk just to mimic them. You don't need all those things. So be as natural as possible. And finally, if you know that there is something bothering you that you don't understand about what they are saying, and after which you've asked them to repeat it, you still don't understand it. Just be calm. Don't ever say that because of they've repeat it once you cannot ask them again. Ask them till you understand it. Maybe you can tell them to rephrase it in a simpler language. They will understand you. They know that there is language barrier. So when you put all these things together, believe me, it will enable you to do the interview question the best way you can. And never believe that because you are the best staff or you are the best nurse in whatever country you are living in, they're supposed to see the potentials in you. For instance, during the time of my wife, during our very first interview, after answering very short answers, she was like, they're supposed to see the potential in me. Then I'm a very good nurse, and no doubt she is a very good nurse because all the organizations she has worked with, they love her services. She is devoted with her work. She loves doing work diligently, and she's also a fast learner. So don't ever think that automatically they will see the potentials in you. No, it is you that will sell yourself. It is you that will let them know your potential. They are not witches and wizards. What you say is what will guide them to know the type of person you are. Unlike my wife automatically thought that they're supposed to see the best of her, the potential, that she is a good person, she is a fast learner. But at the end of the day, it's so unfortunate she was not successful during that interview for the very first time. But having explained all these things to me, I told her, you see, these are the things you need to do. Just be natural. Don't be overwhelmed with anxiety. Don't think you need to mimic them when they are talking. And any question you don't understand, maybe because of their language, tell them to come back again, to pardon you, to repeat it. So they are willing to do that. And when she now finally put everything in place, believe me, within just a month, she was given, after doing 5 interviews, after doing 5 interviews within just a month, she was employed, or she was given offer in 3 different organizations, one in Belfast, Northern Ireland, one in Scotland, and the other one in London. So it was later we now think of, okay, which one would be beneficial to us, and we later make the decision based on the one we think it is okay for us. So this is our today's video. I hope that one way or the other you've enjoyed this today's video. If so, please do subscribe if you have not subscribed, and if you have subscribed, thanks so much for coming back to this channel in order to learn 1 or 2 things. So until our next video, when we'll be seeing again, I say one love.